Hi, I'm Debbie with Unforgettable Stamping, and today I'm going to show you how to make this quick and easy hello card featuring the Flower Pot DSP and the Flower Shop stamp set that has a coordinating punch. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so today's card starts with a Night of Navy card base, and I've cut this to half sheet of cardstock, which is 5.5 by 8.5 inches, and I've scored it right in the center at 4.25 inches. So on the valley fold, I'm just going to fold it in half and use my bone folder to crisp. And because this is a darker cardstock, I like to line my inside with just a piece of Whisper White. So this is just cut 1/4 inch smaller, so it's 4 inches by 5.25. And don't worry about getting all of the dimensions. I have put together a project sheet for this card. If you are a newsletter subscriber on my blog, you'll be getting that in the newsletter. If you're subscribing to my newsletter later than this week, just send me an email and I'll be happy to send that to you. So I'm just going to line the inside or the outside edges there with a little bit of the Tombow glue, and I'm just going to quickly add that to the center, and I'm going to set this card base aside. I'll finish putting that together later. Now, the designer paper that I'm featuring today is called Flower Pot, and this month, during the month of July, Stampin' Up! Is running a special. If you buy 3 packs of DSP priced at $10.95, you get 1 for free. So I'm really trying to feature a lot of different designer papers this month. Last week, I shared with you the Back to Black, and this week I wanted to show you how beautiful this Flower Pot designer paper is. So you have quite a few colors to choose from. There's this garden green, and we've got Lost Lagoon and Crushed Curry, Night of Navy, Blushing Bride, lots of different fun colors to choose from. And so these are our patterns. We've got some flowers and then some stripes, and so some good polka dots, and then if you flip it over, you have all of these fun colors as well to choose from. So my card today actually features this green with all the little fun flowers. So when I was trying to put my card together, I had to come up with a lot of different color combinations until I was happy with what I came up with. And I really liked the Night of Navy with the Crushed Curry. I think it really made it pop off of there, and you could really see the little yellow flowers in the designer paper. And then I love this new Lost Lagoon stitched satin ribbon, so that's what I decided to go with. Now, this is a case of a layout of a card that I found on Pinterest. I can't remember off the top of my head who originally designed the card, but please visit my blog. I do have a link to that pin so you can see exactly who was the originator of this layout. But anyway, I love the simplicity of it, and you know, cutting out this flower was really easy because the Flower Shop stamp set has a coordinating punch. So just to talk about that a little bit further as I get into stamping. So Flower Shop is this stamp set. There's a bunch of different flowers, and there's this really great pansy punch that coordinates with it. Now, when I originally mounted my stamps, I didn't think about these petals not being the same all the way around. So when I went to punch the first couple of times after I'd stamped, it was kind of hard and I kept having to twist it. So what I ended up doing is I figured out where I needed to stamp with the arrow pointing down on my cardstock so that when I fit the punch up onto the scrap of cardstock, it would line up. I hope that makes sense. So when I stamp it and I flip it over and I punch it, it's going to line up. So it took a little finagling. So if you think about that before you mount it, certainly, you know, mount it the way you think of it. I just happen to have all of these pointing down. The one I'm using today, actually, I have to kind of do this way because it's rotated a little bit, but that's okay. I may do, but that's what you can do if you've already mounted your set like I did. Okay, so in addition to the Flower Shop, I'm using my 4U stamps that I've used this before. I just love all the different fonts and the words that we have in this stamp set. And, you know, for $14.95 or $11.95, this is a really good deal. I happen to get it in the wood mount because I like wood mount. But you have the, you know, the different ones. I'm going to use the Hello today, but you could certainly make it a thank you card or thinking of you or a birthday card. Okay, so now to get started, I have my piece of cardstock, and I'm going to take my Lost Lagoon and my stamp, and I'm just going to randomly stamp in the corner of on the left-hand side, And while I have my stamp out, I'm going to go ahead, because you know I like to stamp my envelope. I'm going to go ahead and stamp that in the corner and set that aside to dry. And I also have a scrap of cardstock, and this is where it's important that I line up so that I can feed it in my punch. I'm going to go ahead and set that aside to dry quickly too. And go back to my card now. Night of Navy is the color that I'm using for my sentiment. I'm going to stamp that in the upper right hand corner because this bottom part's going to be covered up with designer paper. So I'm just going to stamp that and let that dry. Now while that's drying, because the darker colors seem to have a little bit more pigment in them and they take a little bit longer to dry, so I'm going to go back and I'm going to show you how easy it is since I lined it up to punch this out. It's going to have a little bit of a white edge around the outside. That's really easy with this pansy punch. Okay, so now I'm going to take my designer paper piece and quickly glue it around the outside edges and attach it. I always like to turn it over and make sure that it's lined up. And then I've cut my scrap of ribbon, just I think it's 6 inches. It's just a little bit longer than this piece so that I can wrap it around. And then I'm going to take some Scotch tape and just, I don't know if you can hear those birds in my chimney. I think you could hear it on my last video. I'm sorry, we have baby birds in our chimney, so we forgot to put a cap on it after we had it cleaned last fall. So bear with me till they're old enough and we can close that off. I'm going to have to listen to the birds. Okay, so now the next thing we're going to do is take this piece and I'm going to attach it to my crushed curry. So again, with the Tombow. I'm going to attach that really quickly. The thing I love about the Tombow is I never tend to put things on straight the first time. So with the Tombow being a liquid, you have a little bit longer drying time and have a little bit of time to adjust and make it straight. Okay, so now I'm going to take my dimensionals and I'm going to attach my flower. I kind of want it to overlap the edge a little bit so that I can see all the different flowers peeking out. Okay, now I'm going to bring my card back, and it's always important, I've done this so many times I can't even tell you, I always have to remember to open the card so that I know exactly, you know, where the inside of the card is. You don't want to make a mistake and have your white flap on the top. So open it up, make sure you're attaching it to the front, and then I'm just going to attach really quickly with a couple more dimensionals. I'm just going to center that. And then the last thing I'm going to do is add a little bit of bling. I love my rhinestones. As you can tell, I use them a lot. I go through quite a few packs of these. I have found that using the end of the snips makes it really easy to get it exactly where you want, not stuck to the bottom of your fingernail. I've done that before too, using my fingers when I'm being too lazy to find my snips, but now I just keep them close by. But anyway, that's all it does. That's all it needed to take this little card from plain to fabulous. It was just a little bit of bling. So I hope you like this card. It came together very quickly. You can certainly get, this is a piece of designer paper that's 4 inches by 1 1/4, so you can tell that you can get a lot of cards out of one piece of designer paper. Once you put it in your envelope, it's a beautiful card to send to a friend. I hope you like this video. I thank you for watching. If you'd like to subscribe to my newsletter so that you can get the project sheet, please hop on over to my blog. It's unforgettableStamping.typepad.com, and I will see you next week. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.